It seems like there's a perception that North Island is boring and there's not much to do 4x4 wise, and compared to South Island, well, you're probably right. But there are still things to do, and if you look hard enough you'll always find them. Pouto Point is a lighthouse. We drive down the beach or inland. It's only 72 kilometers roughly from Dargaville, and it's a really fun trip. So why don't you escape the hustle and the bustle of the city, jump in your vehicle and join us. The next stop will be Dargaville, and at Dargaville we'll meet in the countdown parking area and start our trip there. So we look forward to having you with us. I'm Greg van der Reis. I've been leading expeditions and driving 4x4s in Africa for almost 40 years. Join me as I explore my new home country of New Zealand. The Kaipara is known as the most treacherous harbour in New Zealand. It also has names like the Valley of the Wrecks and the Graveyard. There are between 120 and 154 wrecks depending on your source of information. After passing the Maritime Museum, you drive down the road and there will be a turn off to the right called Coal Road. You turn right on Coal Road and you just carry on and you'll end up in a cutting and then on the beach. So once you get to the beach, there's a spot to deflate your tires, and probably anything from 12 to 18 psi or around about 1 bar should be sufficient. It all depends on the size of your tires, the experience you've got, and of course the sand, whether it's wet or dry and soft and hard, and it all depends on that. But once you get going, you'll also find that your tires get warmer. So as they get warmer, the pressure will increase, and once you're on the hard sand you could probably drive with pressures a lot higher than 12 or 18 psi. After about 15 kilometers, if you keep an eye on the left, you'll see some dunes and there's some tracks going off. So if you just follow those tracks, you'll end up in the dunes. The dunes offer a nice place to play, some steep ascents, descents, and you can really hone your skills in sand driving. The bush is thick, it will scratch your vehicle. So if you just stay in the dunes, you might be okay, but we all got our vehicles scratched a little bit, and then when you get home you just buff it out. But the dunes are really fun and worth the visit. After leaving the dune area, you get back on the beach. You then have 19 kilometers driving south, and then the road will turn east, and from there it's 8 kilometers to the lighthouse. The sand can be soft in places, and there can be humps of very soft sand where you can get airborne if driving too fast. And then it's the challenge of getting up to the lighthouse. Depending on the sand, it can be very difficult. When you get to the lighthouse, we've been asked to stay away from the actual area around the lighthouse because of erosion. So ideally you would stop above and walk the last 50 meters down to the lighthouse. If you're planning on camping, there's loads and loads of places to camp. We found a spot behind the dunes, and we were in the lee, so there wasn't too much wind. Nice big bonfire, you 300 or 400 meters from any vegetation, so it's quite safe. The next morning, back in our vehicles and driving down to the community of Pouto. At high tide the waves break up against the dunes, so get your tides right and really only travel at low tide. Once you get to Pouto, you exit the beach at this spot. There's a big parking area where you can inflate your tires, and there are public toilets.